Welcome back, family, to another video. Praises to the Most High Yah and honor unto the Holy Spirit, which is wisdom. Family, I wanted to bring your attention to the timeline of Jerusalem. It just shows how many wars that, our forefathers have dealt with over the time, and how many people want to put themselves in the mix of either having access to the property or the land, or just a common, connection, as in saying, I am, a biblical Israelite, or so forth. So it says this is a timeline of major events in the history of Jerusalem, a city that had been fought over 16 times in its history. During its long history, Jerusalem has been destroyed twice, besieged 23 times, attacked 52 times, and captured and recaptured 44 times. So what you're going to see here is some maps, and I must say that the victor's always going to line it up according to how they want it. So far as me looking at these maps and saying, oh, this is exactly where, I'm not going to say that. The Most High only knows, and he will reveal to us as time unveil. It's just too many findings from America to the continent of Africa, of so many of understanding of different possibilities. So we're just going to move past this and just give you just a quick view over, and I can share the link and you all could come back and read it accordingly, but just to see, and I'll highlight some things as I'm led to share through here, but just let you see of what has been happening, and this going back to 4500 BCE, right? And this that means before Christ era. All right, so here we go. So as you can see, all these different things has happened over the course of a period of time. Okay. So it says here in 1010 BCE, King David attacks and captures Jerusalem. Jerusalem becomes the city of David and the capital of the United Kingdom. So before that, in 1000 BCE, according to the Bible, Jerusalem is inhabited by the Jesuits, right? Jebusites, and is known as Jebus. Okay, let's go up 1178. The Battle of Daije Cannon between Ramses III and Sea of People marks the beginning of the decline in the power of the new kingdom and the advance during the Bronze Age collapse. So there you have it, family. As this all 1962 BCE, King Solomon builds the first temple. Then it tells when the King Solomon died, 931 through 930 BCE. Okay. So it doesn't go all the way back into the wilderness, but it gives you an idea of how many ins and out of people coming and battling and want to take over and say that they are who they're not. And it's just a lot going on here. So let's just continue to look through here. So this is an interesting time here as well. It's 733 BCE. According to the Bible, Jerusalem became a vassal of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. So we know that's when the northern tribe was taken back over to Assyria, and they implanted people. So could the Palestinian people today be of those different people from which were in Assyria, which, because they wanted people in the land. And if you recall, the southern tribe was still there, and they actually came unto the southern tribe asking how could they maintain to live in the land, because they were being dealt with by the Most High, were bringing on judgment on them. So it says in the Bible that the southern tribe did, indicate, tell them that they needed to keep the commandments and whatnot. So this is a great chance that a lot of people that just say that is our land, the Palestinians, they could be of descendants of ones from Assyria, of one that was implanted in the land to this day. Okay, so many people, have took hold and want to claim. Okay, so I'm just going to go through right here. But I was actually looking for the timeline of when our people were coming back from Babylon. How Father, which would happen in phases, right? And we at that time wasn't even controlling over our land as king. We didn't have a king at that time. The last king was actually shown to have, which was Zedekiah. Zedekiah, I believe. Zedekiah. He was the last king, but the one before him died in Babylon, right? So that gives you that era between Zedekiah and also what you would, say, well, Jesus Christ came, JC came, and then he was the king, but no one knew he was the king. He just came to suffer and die for the sins of Israel. But, as it showed throughout the history, when you compile, look at the history from those three kings, far as King Cyrus, King Darius, and King Ahasuerus, how they lined up and they were still ruling over the land where, our people were. They just had like a high priest, like Ezra was one that was, considered to be like one that, would not rule. But, and I want to say it was Ezra, then it kind of lined up also with Nehemiah. So we just have to understand, family, and that will tell us a whole lot about JC. It will tell us, you would look back at the past history, when the Most High, how he dealt with delivering his people. I can say for certain that, we weren't completely delivered when we were free to leave off of the lands of our enslavers right here in America. We left off the land. We weren't on the land anymore, but they still got, dibs or whatever on us, as we know, with dealing with the Social Security numbers and whatnot. But we were, free in a sense, but not completely redeemed. So same as when Ezra and all, when they left Babylon, they did not have a king ruling directly over Israel of their own, of our own. It was these other kings still ruling, right? So that speaks volume, because we here to tell the story today. We are not, we, according to the amendments and ones, we can tell and we can see we are not free people. We are not treated, in the manner as the blessings will flow upon us as Father had, promised our forefathers. But we are free not to be on the land of our enslavers. Okay, so that's the same thing. They were brought back from Babylon. They were brought back on their land. So that was different. They were brought back on their land, but they still didn't have a king ruling over them. So let's continue to go down a little bit more here. Okay, so you see the 599 and 597 to 597, the first Babylonian siege, Nebuchadnezzar II crushed a rebellion in the kingdom of Judah. Okay, let's continue. So you'll see how, King Nebuchadnezzar was in line, and all that, what happened. So it gives you a storyline, family. So then it speaks of the second temple, speaks of Darius the Great, and then it speaks of Ezra right here. It tells that him coming back, of course, and then it speaks of here Nehemiah, and also so that tells you about that. And then it goes into the Jerusalem revolt against Artaxerxes, I want to say, and and then speaks of the Hyrcanians. Let's go down a little bit more here, in Jerusalem. And then it tells about Alexander the Great. And it give you, just a view of all that was going on the land, right? All this time that was dealing surrounding the Israelites. So what we, do is pull up history on these people, and you'll be able to piece and put together in the Bible, not only this timeline, but how these people played a big part, and how even in American history, world history, they allow us to learn about a lot of these people, European people, that all these people was actually dealing surrounding us. But they never told us the truth about who we were. Isn't that something? Okay. So there's a lot. As you can see, the Maccabees period getting ready to come up. There, right here, you see this. So this is still before Christ. And then, I'm just going to keep moving down. You can see. And Josephus, he just, to me, like a snake. He apparently was, to me, seemingly to be an Israelite, and then he swapped sides, or either he was one that was a stranger in the land, and he swapped side and went with the Romans and started giving them all type of, like the books. He was able to break down the scriptures, cover it far as it was in Hebrew and whatnot, and so much. And so you get a chance, you need to read about Josephus, right? Me, myself, wow. Okay, so it tells you about the Roman Republic rising up there, and then come down, start telling you more, and where it speaks of Hyrcanus, and the high priest is appointed high priest, because it was three, and during the Maccabee, it was Judas, Maccabee, Simon, and also I want to say John, Hyrcanus. It was another one. In between was four of them, but during that period. And at that time, there was a time that with the Maccabees, you saw how Judas, he fought, and then they won portion of, where they got some grounds, but they still wasn't like kings or king over the land of Israel, period, over the land of the promised land. But they, so you would say, well, the Most High allowed them to win because they showed it where they would pray, and then Father would, bless them. So like in this day and time, when I think about Harriet Tubman, she used to have visions and dreams, and she helped free, I want to say close to 300 slaves, but it wasn't all the slaves, So it's like, to me, so much is telling me that we need to have that personal relationship, because Father deal with us differently. Collectively, I understand that he will deal with us collectively. But on that scale of dealing with us one-on-one, that's why we need to have that personal relationship, because, he could show some things to one, to others as well. But then one, he might give more, like he would do like with the prophets, So I'm just want to put that out, family, that how all this could be possible, that, even though they won some wars, he still didn't give them back that full, where all these other, what you would call it, countries was like pushed back. And then he allowed a king of the Israelites to stand, on the land, and covered the land, right? Put his blessing and his face back on us completely. So really, the truth be told, since our forefathers left Babylon, before Babylon, it has not been done like that. So just look at it along that way. When our forefathers went to Babylon, that was like the time in that, it's like it was a clock set to me, saying, because Father have not turned his face back collectively on his people. Because if so, when they came back from Babylon and went like Ezra's, they wouldn't have these other kings that were ruling over. Like Rome wouldn't have no partake in it, and so forth. They wouldn't have had that. Now, someone had said something very interesting that, well, The victors always write themselves into it, and they backdate themselves into a storyline. So that's something that we need to be, take at heart. That's possible that they could have backdated and wrote themselves into a timeline and made it seem like they were back in that era when they weren't. And that's possible, and the storyline that came from Ezra's when Father, allowed them to come back onto the land, they could have covered that part. So it's just all type of ways that we could look at it, family. I don't want to confuse you or whatnot. I just want to just say we need to go deeper. We need to seek the Most High for even further understanding in this truth, because that will help us to understand what's going on with us today and why we still here when he could have redeemed us back when Abraham Lincoln did the Emancipation Proclamation in a complete status, redeem us and took us back, will put us back in our rightful place. But that just really tells me that he has an appointed time. Like when it says the Amorites, what has been with them has not been fulfilled yet. It's like they're going to have to, when they sin, the more they get to a certain level, then that's when Father's going to restore his people back. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not saying that it's all that way will happen, but we just must keep in mind. So you see some names here, Agrippa, that was the Herodians. They're in the Bible as well, So you see a lot of this what ties in, of course, into the Bible. Okay. So now this coming down to where it's getting ready to speak about Jesus Christ and how it's possible that, our Messiah was hijacked, but it's possible that they just plant this here because they always knew that we had a Messiah that will come and redeem our people. But very oddly, that he did not, when he came to redeem us in full. So one may say, well, we had our Martin Luther King, we had all these other people that worked on our behalf, but we weren't redeemed in full as well. But and they died, and whatnot, just like Jesus died. So you could say that. But it's just more to it, family. It's more deeper than all of this. So we're going to move forward. And I pray that the Almighty allow us to see it and understand it more in full one day to what is what. Because our storyline of our Messiah could be in the books somewhere in Rome, hidden, the true storyline. And they just gave us what they want us to have because what they are the victors, right? All right. So I think I bypass because now I'm in CE. Okay, I bypassed the timeline of Jesus Christ. So here is, did I? So, okay, so now what they're saying is that, it's between 6 BCE that he was born. So 3 years ministry of Jesus Christ. Then it goes here, a brief period of peace, relatively free revolt, bloodshed. Let's go back. Yeah, right here. So I bypass this altogether. 5 BC, so 6 BCE is when John the Baptist came on the scene. Then, presentation of Jesus Christ about 5 BC, but I've seen it in 4 BCE before. And then I was under the impression that he lived to be 33 years old. So that would fit when he died when they said that when he died, and I want to say it'll show up the ministry right here in 28 to 30 CE. So this means CE means also AD. Okay. All right. So family, I'm just, raising through here. Again, I truly believe the Most High is going to give us all what we need one day. Why he's doing it the way he's doing it, not for us to understand, because it's in his timing, and he measures time so well to fit it perfectly to where it needs to be. But I know a lot is going on with this flu virus, the coronavirus is out. earthquake just happening all over the place. It's just happened in Jamaica and on the line of Cuba in that lineup. So a lot of stuff is happening with the earth. Is showing, a lot. So I just want to, put this out here that, again, we can't take this lightly. We need to repent. We need to understand how important it is to get closer with our Creator. Even though we might not have all the ins and out, we need to make sure that we on that path, right? To seek His face and to not be in idolatry for no one. Don't care if the mass of the people are in idolatry and they can't see themselves in idolatry. It's for no one. We not to be in idolatry for no one. And we should have read the handwriting on the wall, understand when these people, when the Bible tells us that we shouldn't have any image, we should not have any, what you would call a golden calf or an image of anyone, and we to idols. So that should have tell us that when they was pushing this picture out about Jesus Christ, that should have been the handwriting on the wall. So, oh my goodness, y'all in idolatry, right? We all in idolatry, but it goes deeper than that, right? But not only this, it showed that we weren't studying the Bible. We weren't reading the Bible. We weren't seeking the Most High for ourselves. That's why we was at this place, understanding that they could have, hijacked our Messiah and made it in their own and write their own storyline, because we weren't reading the Bible. We weren't seeking the Most High's face. We were just in the motions, right? And now this time where He's waking us up, that meaning that He's about to redeem us, and He's given us that so we could actually do as He's leading us to do for His purpose, right? So I want to just share this with you all, family. I'll share this link, and you all can take your time and go through it as you will. But you can see how many people had a hand in our lives. Now, this is just the middle age right here. I'm just going to scheme through here right quick and speak of the goal of, the Dome of the Rock. And of course, that's going to end up saying that the people in the land this day this is their land, which is the Ish people, right? But anyway, let them have their moment. All will be unveiled as time will come through. Okay. So we have to understand that we're in the Roman era back. They lost their power and they came back into full force. And how they got that is coming to the new land, which is America. And that's how they got their power back. So we must understand that accordingly. Okay. So I'm not sure how far this is going to go up. I don't recall, but I'm just going to just roll up, roll down the page. And you see where it's going to say, they're going to pretty much say they got rights and dibs. And just like the peace plan yesterday with Netanyahu, how it's more to them than the Palestinians. Their goal is to have the whole earth, not just that little part they call Israel. Their goal is to have the whole earth, right? That's their goal. So just like it says in the Bible for the Israelites when we come back in our rulership status. So in 1347, you see the Black Death swept Jerusalem and much of the rest of. So, the Black Death is when 25 million people died during that timeline. And then they're afraid that could be now. And I saw something that where it's 18, it goes back to 1720, 1820, 1920, and then 2020 when plagues have been hitting the earth in that timeline. So I'll cover that as if I'm led to by the Most High. So family, again, just wanted to cover this with you all. Now you see we in the 1700s. Okay. Modern era, of course. 1800s. Look at there, all of this going on have happened. right, so family, this leading us all the way into the 2000 and right here 18. Okay, so you can see that, you know, they, whoever did this, they even got Donald Trump in 2017 in there. Okay, so family, again, not Yahoo said yesterday that Trump was the best friend that they've had that was in the White House. Well, you can say that again. So they even calling Trump their Messiah. They even calling Trump, you know, King Cyrus. They lining it up because they see that he's on behalf of working with them. How Trump, you know, got any ties with us as the Israelites, that, you know, remain to be seen. We'll see how the Most High is going to play it out. But let's just stay, you know, in a mode where we getting closer to our Most High and seeking His face and repenting, family, on this day. All right, family. Blessings unto you. Shalom.